Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian Whistleblower. Welcome to the Gospel Truth Channel. And I know that you are normally used to seeing Wayne Steiger with me here tonight for the midweek report. I have to say, unfortunately, Wayne did suffer a loss in his a death in his family, his extended family. So he will not be with us tonight. So I do appreciate you being here. And of course, we send out our condolences. We send out our good juju towards Wayne and his family. But we will continue to press on. We will continue to bring you broadcast excellence. Pardon me. Even though Wayne is not able to be with us here tonight, we still want to press on and give you some good quality programming. And again, Wayne won't be with us tonight due to a death in his extended family. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian Whistleblower. I spent 20 years as a licensed minister in 3 of the largest Protestant denominations in the world. I have a Bible college graduate, 36 years, over 100,000 hours of study within the biblical scriptures. And I'm here to share with you, in my opinion, that big-time religion is a fear and guilt control matrix, and that you should avoid it, unindoctrinate yourself, and get yourself free. Violet Flame did make another video on her channel. It was high quality. I encourage you to go listen to it. Some very good insights from a very insightful person. She's doing a great job on her channel. Jennifer Baranski is starting her channel up, starting her radio up, and she'll be with us tomorrow night, I think about this same time. And then, of course, we have Scotty Roberts as well. Halo Marquise, the Mistec guy, tomorrow at noon. So we've got a jam-packed schedule for you. And tonight we're going to look at the Divine Secret Garden. A lot of you really enjoy that series, and for good reason. And we're going to get back into it tonight. The Divine Secret Garden. And we want to look at the forbidden knowledge, the mystery of the 2 trees. The 2 trees being the tree of the knowledge of good and evil and the tree of life. And Mr. Pinella, who wrote this book, starts off by reminding us that the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, faith, gentleness, meekness, and temperance. And against those things, there is no law. And he believes, as I believe, that the Father God, the Mother God gave us these things as being the key to everything. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, faith, gentleness, meekness, temperance, or moderation. Against such things there is no law. But there is a key point, and one that we miss because we've fallen into a trap set for us by the demiurge, set for us by Yaldabaoth, and we begin to lose the fact that all of the fruits of the Spirit are self-contained. All the fruits of the Spirit are self-controlled. The world wants us to believe that love and hate are connected, that they want us to believe in duality. They want us to believe in black and white, hot and cold, wrong and right. And they want us to believe that there's a connection between all opposing forces, as a connection between, for example, connection between love and hate. Now, if this were true, then love and hate could be connected as equals. I submit to you tonight for your consideration that this is absolutely not possible. And it's this craziness that makes the world of Yaldabaoth, the Lord, Satan, Lucifer, Marduk, Jehovah, the rat bastard, because he was created without a father and has been a bastard from the beginning. This is what creates a world where people can accept a God that is a self-confessed many times demonstrated, killer of babies, and yet is the God of love. It's the world that allows a God to kill boys, girls, men, women, children without mercy and to the last living being, and then still call himself a God of love. Well, God is love, and because, love and hate, he can be both. Only in a twisted, sick, demented world is that possible. And unfortunately, we live in a sick and twisted, demented world, a world where Yaldabaoth, the Lord, has convinced us that good and evil work together as one team. He has convinced us so thoroughly that when we see evil, we believe it has merit. We believe that it's all part of the work of good. Folks, love can never produce hatred. Hatred can never produce love. That dichotomy, that duality is quite possibly the great lie. Now, we have to understand that polar opposites are the negative and positive ends linked together. This is the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. That's the lesson of the knowledge of good and evil, that positive equals negative. Whenever you see this idea, recognize it as coming from the knowledge of good and evil. Recognize it as coming from the mind of Lucifer, the mind of the Lord, the mind of Jehovah, the mind of Marduk, the mind of the rat bastard. It makes us live in a world that no matter what happens, we're always connected to the opposite or the negative, but it's not supposed to be this way, because in the rat bastard's world, if you love, you're just this far from hate. And that's not the way it really is, because the rat bastard, Satan, the devil, supposedly two different spirits, the murdering God and the God of love, but yet they're somehow connected. That's not the way it really is. It's just the way that the rat bastard has set it up here, because everything in this world is based on those opposites. However, as this author says, and as I wholeheartedly concur, the Father's world, the Mother's world, the world of the true gods is not based on opposites. Each side always brings a similar like state, both being compatible. Listen to this, folks. Love does not produce hate. Love produces joy. Thus, joy is the second fruit of the Spirit. Love is the first fruit of the Spirit. Joy is the first fruit of the Spirit. Only in the twisted, sick, dark, demented world of Yaldabaoth, the world that we have consented to live in, only in that world are love and hate linked. In the real world, in the world of the true divine, love and joy are linked. And think about it. Love creates joy. Joy leads to peace. Peace leads to tranquility. And when you're in tranquility, peace, and joy, you become long-suffering. You become patient, merciful, forgiving, thus leading all to the connecting fruits and leading to the end of what the fruit of the Spirit is. The fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience. It all fits together. You notice that there's no dichotomies there. This will change your life, folks. When one is forgiving, merciful, patient, and long-suffering, it leads into kindness. They're more open to be kind and charitable and are more easily entreated. You can talk sense to them. That's why you know that the Lord, the God of the Bible, is a twisted, demented, fallen figure, because he acts with such horrible duality. I'm the God of love, but I kill people all the time. I'm the God of love, but I cause my people to kill people all the time. I'm the God of love, but I'm going to throw you in a lake of fire where you can suffer forever. Folks, that's not the real world. That's the twisted, sick, demented world of the Lord God, Yaldabaoth, Jehovah of the Bible. And that's a world that we have consented to live in. And guess what? We can take away that consent. We can say, I do not consent. I will not live in your world any longer. We can choose to live in the world of love, the world of joy, the world of peace, the world of patience, the world of kindness. We do not have to live in the world of dichotomy that this rat bastard has conned us into. It's time for us to start thinking for ourselves. A spirit of kindness is revealed when one is hospitable, when we serve each other, when we do things to reassure and give hope. It leads to the next fruit of a spirit of goodness. Love equals joy, equals peace, equals patience, equals kindness, equals goodness. These are the traits of a true God. These are the traits of one that is truly divine. And if your God doesn't line up with these traits, not some of the time, not even most of the time, but 100% of the time, then your God is not a good God. Your God is not really a God. Your God is a fallen God. And I don't mean to step on our toes, but if our lives don't line up with this, then guess what? We're not living a divine life either. Goodness leads to faith, which is our mutual trust in the Father and Mother to provide the things that we need or lack. It's our divine family connection that guides and leads us from within. Faith is the key, ladies and gentlemen. So when you put it all together, love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faith, and gentleness. When we're gentle, we reveal a spirit of meekness. We're free of the negative parts of ego, i.e. haughtiness and jealousy. And you serve a God right now that says, I am the Lord your God, am a jealous God. I, the Lord your God, am haughty. He's jealous. How can you serve a God that confesses that he is possessed of lower vibrations? He's not really a God, ladies and gentlemen. True gods, true divine people have nothing to prove. They're not resentful. They're not filled with pride, thus leading to temperance. Not led into temptation to do wrong. You know, the Pope wants to talk about changing the Lord's Prayer because it says that the Lord leads people into temptation. Only because he does. And why does he lead you into temptation? Because you're eating from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. When you eat from the tree of life, you're temperate and you're not led into temptation to do wrong. You shouldn't be tempted to do wrong on a regular basis because you're not living in that world. You have self-restraint. You do the will of the Father and Mother. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faith, gentleness, temperance equals what? Life eternal. These are the things that will put you in the place to have eternal life. The fruits of the Spirit are all self-contained. They never lead to anything of darkness. They never need to follow wrath, rage, jealousy, or any other disorder. So you know that the God of the Bible, because he does follow wrath, because he does follow rage, because he is jealous, he is suffering from a disorder. He is a demented, fallen, failed God. And I don't know why you'd want to follow such a being, such an entity. Do you see where we are actually being duped to follow something that is absolutely the opposite of the reality of the true universe? Let's take a little look into the chat room right now. Love and strength to Wayne, absolutely. Violet's channel, just click on her name there on the 3 dots to the right, and you'll see her channel. Were those 2 trees hemp? I don't know if they were hemp or not. Hello, Trisha G. Thank you, Breaking Bombast. Jeff Everything you say goes along exactly with what I've been talking about on my channel. I heard a lot of what I talk about on this channel come out of your mouth, which is the way it should be. We're teaching the same, it's of the same spirit. It's of the fruit of the spirit, isn't it? When you listen to Violet Flame, you're hearing the fruit of the spirit. When you listen to me, you're hearing the fruit of the spirit. When you listen to Trisha G, you're hearing the fruit of the spirit. Jeff, your last video on the Christ was dead on and as well stated as anyone could express that truth regarding our reality as we manifest it. I agree with you. Thank you very much for expressing that. If you lived without duality, how would you know you were living in a state of love? Well, if you lived it without duality, there wouldn't be anything but a state of love. Just live in love and you don't have to worry about duality. Trisha, Wayne had a death in his family. I won't be commenting much. That's okay. I can't leave a link because I'm not a mod. Is that right? Now you are, and now you can. I do not give consent, says Buster's 1978. Perfect. We are not fallen gods. The rat bastard is a fallen god. Great point in the Lord's Prayer. Thank you. I did a great video on that. I think it was a great video. Just going through and checking out you're listening to me. I'm listening to you. We had a terrorist in the UK today. Sorry to hear that. Lots of folks being duped, no doubt about it. Better know this when you're dead. Yes, indeed. If people are never told to really think about what the scriptures say, there's no realization. Exactly. Jeff, you've triggered mental reassessment. Good for good journeyman. I made a summary. I'll post my French summary. Okay, great. Live the Christed life. Sorry to hear that. Yeah, absolutely. Sipping on fruit spirit, listening to a fruit cake. There you go. All right, let's get back into the teaching here. All right. When we enter the other side, the side that the Lord, Lucifer, Yahweh has given us, the side that comes from the God of the Bible, we see something very interesting. The first thing that Yahweh did was give us laws and statutes, gave us commandments. You notice he didn't give us a spirit of love, but he gave us a spirit of law. And what is the law connected to? The law is connected to sin. The Bible reveals law is what identifies sin. Paul, the rat bastard's rat bastard, says, by the deeds of the law, no flesh can be justified. So if the deeds of the law make it that nobody can be justified, then why would law have been the first thing given to us by this God? Do you realize the first thing that God gave you was something that makes sure that you can't be justified? That's because he wants you to believe you're filled with original sin. He wants you to believe that you've got to have salvation, and he wants you to believe that he's the only Savior. So you have to come to him. It's a lie, ladies and gentlemen. You're not filled with original sin. You've got the spark of divinity within. Don't accept his law. Don't place yourself under his law. His law is sin and death. And you don't need either one of those in your life. And we have the choice to say, no, we do not consent. We opt out. We have nothing to do with your law, because your law equals sin and sin equals death, or being cut off from the divine. Law equals sin, commandments, which equals judgment. We are not here for judgment. We're here for development. Well, Jeff, I don't agree with that. My mom always taught me and my pastor always taught me. Well, maybe you're listening to the wrong people, or you're at least listening to the wrong doctrine. Think about it. Law equals sin. Sin equals ordinances. Ordinances equal judgment. Judgment equals wrath. Wrath equals jealousy, which equals rulers, which equals controllers. This is the whole thing. The tree of life sets you free. The tree of the knowledge of good and evil leaves you under control. The fear and guilt control matrix. It leads you into the original sin that Lucifer, Satan, Yahweh created this world in. The fruits of Yahweh, the fruits of Lucifer, the fruits of Satan are the tree of good and evil. Don't eat from it. Don't eat from it. If you want those things in your life, law, sin, judgment, wrath, which lead to you being under control, which leads to death, you can choose that if you like. It is within your ability as a free moral agent to choose that kind of life. And that's the life you choose if you choose the religion of the Lord, the God of the Bible. You may not like that, but it's true. So that's why I try to give you this knowledge, so you can say, okay, here's my choices. I can choose the fruits of Yahweh, or I can choose the fruits of the true Elohim, the Father and Mother. You can choose law, sin, judgment, wrath, jealousy, control, pride, and death. Or you can choose love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faith, gentleness, temperance, and life. In the latter, there's no law, no sin, no nothing that leads to death, only things that lead to life. Which one do you want? Take a good look at the screen and decide which of these two roads you prefer to travel on. I'll give you a minute. Allow me to make a bold statement. If you choose this life, there's probably not much for you here. And ladies and gentlemen, if you decide to choose this life, which is the life you should choose, and if you choose this, this is the life, if you choose, there won't be much for you here. If you choose this life, there shouldn't be these things in your life. People that are living life on the left there should not be characterized by anything on the right. If you're really living in love, then you're not so worried about law. You can't do this, you can't do that. Your hair's got to be this long, your dress can only be this short. Get in the kitchen to make me a sandwich. You won't be characterized by that stuff. You'll be characterized by love, inclusiveness, joy. If you're full of joy, you're not going to be worried about sin, because you realize you don't have original sin, but you've got the spark of divinity within, which makes you joyful. Plus, you realize that your neighbors aren't filled with original sin. They've got the spark of divinity within. You're not living in a world of convicts. You're living in a world of gods in training. That makes you feel joyful. You live in peace. You're not trying to keep somebody's rules. You're patient with people. You don't judge them constantly. You're kind to people. You're not wrathful towards people. You're filled with goodness. You're happy when someone is getting ahead. You're not jealous of them. You live your life by faith, not by rules. You are a spirit of gentleness. You're not controlled, nor are you trying to control others. You are temperate. You're a nice person. You're an enjoyable person. You're not full of pride. And you're alive, you're not dead, and you're heading for life, not death. That's some powerful stuff right there. There's two roads. You can choose either road. Which one do you choose? Ladies and gentlemen, it's up to You. It's up to you. It's up to you. Let's see what you have to say in the chat room here tonight. I haven't done any meditation videos yet, says Violet Flame. I'm the only preacher who ever made sense. Well, I don't like to think of myself as a preacher, but thank you for that, Sophie. And I guess I kind of am, even though I don't like to think of myself in that mode. And I'm trying to get out of that mode, but you can see it's even tough for me in my speech to get out of that mode. Thank you, Ingrid, and that is powerful. We are surrounded by gods in training. Ask and receive is feeling. It says it's good stuff. Trisha says, if everyone lived by these ways, the world would be a beautiful place. I agree. So grateful I found this channel, says Kathy. Thank you very much, Kathy. Depend on your neighborhood, says Iowa X. I like putting these kinds of vids when I go to bed. Absolutely. Fire, smoke, torture, and anguish for you to live forever and suffer, suffer, burn, and scream until the end of time. But he loves you. And he needs your money. Deborah says she doesn't need a minute to figure out which way she wants to go. I like it. We are originally divine, sovereign, and free. That's the only original anything that there is. Yes, Sophie, indeed. Unstance. I'm excited for the upcoming 24-hour channel with the crew. I'm not sure what you're talking about, but great. Mouse and hanging. There we go. I knew it had to come up at some point. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Powerful stuff. Interesting stuff. Should we go further? Why not? Let's take a look. It's going into another subject, sort of, but let's take a little look-see into this other subject. The father and mother of the Elohim decided to allow fallen angels and fallen gods, due to their fall, to be the instruments of friction that would produce fruit, leading to absolute solidified character in their children. I actually get a lot of questions about this. Why would the Elohim allow things to go on as they are? Well, in reality, the Elohim are just waiting for us to do what we're supposed to do about it. And you have to have task tension. You have to have friction enabled to be able to grow and develop the character that they want us to grow and develop. So since the rat bastard already decided he was going to be a rat bastard, the father and mother decided, you know what? We'll let him be a rat bastard and we'll leverage him. We'll use him. Now, this next part, I'm not sure that I'm sold on it, but it is what the author believes. The author believed that the Garden of Eden wasn't on this planet or in this realm or in this dimension, that it was in the heavens where the children began, and it represents the place in the spirit mother's womb of gestation. That's a little foo-foo for me, to be honest with you. Children, upon determining free choice, left the garden and entered another realm that was being controlled by Lucifer and his followers. In fact, not only controlled, but Lucifer created it. So in his world, in his idea, and it's kind of an interesting idea, this world is not really the world. It's a world created by the rat bastard. And we, for whatever reason, decided that we would come in here. It's almost potato when you think about it. I believe that we're tricked into these bodies by the rat bastard. He says, well, we came in and it's just a different slant on things. And he says that the Bible reveals that the fallen ones, what's it say? Archons, rulers of the universe. And he quotes Paul, which is not my favorite thing, but he says, in the time past, you walked according to the archons of this world. The archons of this cosmos, the controllers of this world, the chiefs of this world. So he's drawing an analogy that shows that this world is controlled by these archons. These archons are directly related to and under the leadership of the rat bastard or Yahweh. And that makes them the gods of this world. And it's a three-dimensional realm where we're located. And this is the one that they are in charge of. And he says it's all fake. I don't know if we're living in a fake world or not. To me, it doesn't seem to resonate that we're living in a fake world. There's a lot of fake things in this world. I don't know that it's a simulation. I'm not at the point yet where I can say, yes, this world is a simulation. While at the same time, there's no doubt that the things that they want us to believe are real, that the rat bastard wants us to believe are real, are not real. So they're trying to get us to live in a fear and guilt control matrix. They're trying to get us to believe things are true that are not true. They're trying to make us think that we're slaves when we're really sovereign. So I guess in a sense, it could be a simulation, but is it a simulation or is it just a usurpation of the world that the Elohim created? I don't know. I don't know. Mr. Pinella thinks it's all fake. Mr. Pinella thinks it's all a simulation, that we made a choice to be able to come into this simulation. He says all of which we witness around us is an illusion. It's a virtual reality. It's like a flight simulator. And it allows us to learn and grow and make mistakes without being destroyed, which is an interesting thought. If you're in a simulator and you crash the plane, you don't die. And if this world is a simulation and you come in and you mess things up, you don't really die. You only think you die. And then you get to hit reset and start again. That's interesting. A virtual holodeck, helping us build character. Failing in a simulation doesn't create drastic effects on who you really are because it was done in a simulation. So he's saying that we come into this world, we do our best. If we wreck it, we come back until we get it right. It's almost potato. Reincarnation into a real world, reincarnation into a holodeck. I don't know. I'm not saying that I agree with him. I'm not saying that he's completely crazy and it can't be. Because he makes some good analogies. A pilot in a flight simulator, if he crashes the plane, he keeps going back into the simulation until he doesn't crash the plane. Succeeding in a simulation can change the innermost part of your being, especially when the good you produce is never lost. It's held in a place where moth and rust cannot corrupt. That's interesting. So what he's saying is this is a simulation and we choose to come into it, and the good that we do perpetuates and the wrong that we do is canceled out as if it never existed. That's interesting. That is interesting. So as we come in here, we are storing up for ourselves treasure in heaven where rust and moths can't corrupt. If you pass the test of your simulation, you can go on to fly jets. But if you don't pass the test, you come back and do it repeatedly until you do pass. It's that simple. Instead of a great God destroying whatever fails, we have a loving Father that continues to allow our failures to be changed into successes. This is really just another way to describe reincarnation. Is it an expanded awareness of reincarnation, or is it just another interesting explanation of reincarnation? Whether or not you believe that this world is a simulation, the things that he's described should bring you some peace. Because when you're in this world, you're here to try to do your best. And if you mess up, it's not going to be the end of everything. See, I don't know. I just don't know. Maybe it's my old Christian background that makes me think there's got to be an end where either you do it or you don't. Maybe that's just me. But I still feel that we are the last generation of real humans. And if that's true, then Mr. Pinnell is wrong. And if Mr. Pinnell is right, then I'm wrong. And who knows? But I'm not here to tell you what's right and wrong. I'm not here to tell you what to believe. I'm here to give you information so you can decide what you want to believe based on a greater quantity of information. Interesting. Very, 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 very interesting. Very, very, very powerful. Very, very, very thought-provoking. I think you'll agree. And I think this might get us to the end of book 1 of the Divine Secret Garden. Oh, well, let's look at this. Let's finish this one up about aliens. Let me go back to the chat room real quickly. See what we've got going on. Excellent series. I love Robert Stanley for sharing this book with us. I think the angels are taking about going by a different name. I have Jeff to thank for getting me to start talking. I'll take credit for that. Every time you see a rainbow, it's the rat bastard. Oh, come on, Anonymous. People have to know consciously that they are gods and goddesses themselves. Yes. Anything that takes part of Hinduism instead of just being Hinduism is dangerous. In this world, the good doesn't necessarily cancel out the bad. Sometimes the good isn't even seen. Violet Flame says people don't understand angels. I think that's true. It's called the Matrix. If it's a fake, you don't have agency. He defeats his own thesis. Well, I wish you could interview my dad. I'd love to interview your dad. Adam came out of a cave and was afraid of our son. Okay. God needs your money so he can have a big yard, a limousine, and $1 million villa. And a jet. And a jet. Interesting. So let's talk about aliens in our last few minutes here. I know what you feel. I know what you're saying, Mimi. Angry Mimi, heavy evangelical background. So this is so new. All right, let's see what's going on with aliens. What do you say? I forgot about this part of this book. Aliens mostly remain in the dark, but they are not part of this world. And the question is asked, are all aliens evil? And he says no, and I agree with that. Just like humanity's not all evil, some still retain the goodness of the divine creator. There's likely aliens that have remained true to their will and live a completely different life than those of this world. Now, to Violet Flame's point, he says these are not angels. They're not meant to be worshiped. They're just another creation, which may have been here for billions of years. Many of them exist in the fourth dimension and still roam the worlds they come from. There are dark aliens that do their work under darkness and hiding. And many of them, he says, live inside the earth. Every so often they make appearances. But he says they no longer come from other worlds outside our solar system within the third dimension. And as proof, he says, this is just a two-dimensional copy. The world we live in, nothing more than a massive planetarium. So dark aliens, he's equating with those that serve Lucifer, Satan, the Lord, the rat bastard. They're not here for our benefit. They're here to keep us prisoners. I agree 100%. That's why I have such problems with these people that talk about the blue avians and the Pleiadians and all these other aliens that are coming from some other place with our best interest at heart. I don't believe it. I just don't believe it. I have big problems with it, and I don't believe that they are here to do us good. I think they're here to deceive us and lead us astray. He says Lucifer's hidden in the sun, which is interesting. The Lord lives in the sun. He's the God of this fallen projection. Very interesting. He lives there with 12 solar gods as his servants to worship and obey him day and night. That's interesting. There might even be 12 for the day and 12 for the night. That's interesting. Again, I'm not telling you what I believe. We're reviewing the work of John Piniella. Then he says there's over 30 lords. He's coming straight from Gnostic material, and they have powers representing the original 30-day months. Interesting. The sun's not a real star, he says. Lucifer is a copy of the Christ, a false Christ. Everything in this realm of death is fake, fraud, simulation. Even our human bodies are nothing but an elaborate holographic hoax. Interesting. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Don't know that I would agree with it. He says the sun is a holographic projector, creating the illusion of stars, moons, and planets. Interesting. Don't know if I can believe it, but it is interesting, and it's worth you knowing it. And he says the sun doesn't give off heat. That's why the higher you go, the colder it gets, and when you're in space, it's freezing. That's interesting. Not saying I believe it, but I'm saying it is at least interesting. So he sees a very different world than the one that most of us see. He sees a very different order than the ones that most of us see. But I do want you to know as we read this, that the spirit of the father and mother is merciful, loving, kind, and caring. That's the true reality of our deity. They are mercy. They are, and we just covered this yesterday, so I won't go into it. Very interesting. A very interesting work. I would say a very powerful work. I would say a work that was certainly worth our time to investigate it. I think that's it. As for what I pulled out of this book, whoops, what was that? What was that? Ah, here we go. He's talking about, here's his wrap up of this whole thing. And we might as well go ahead and take a look at it. We've come to this point to where the harvest begins. Our world is now completely taken over by the tares, the fallen ones. I would have to agree with that. Therefore, a purging must occur. If we're in a program, it just keeps running. So I guess he's saying that the tares will be taken out, or maybe he just leaves us hanging. The world today is being guided by darkness. I think we believe that. I wonder if he brings this back around. Okay. The author believes our world is not moving in a 26,000-year loop anymore. That had changed to a 1,000-year loop. And he says that we're in a time loop. He's going to go to Solomon saying that there's nothing new under the sun. And at the end of 1,000 years, there's going to be a reset. I don't know if I like that or not. I think that takes away responsibility to a degree. I think it makes us think that it's not really real when it is real. So I can't agree with everything he says, but he has definitely given us some interesting things to think about. He's given us some interesting things to think about. Let's go ahead and hit the chat room and get our last questions. Do you think it's possible reptilians evolved here before we were manipulated to be as we are now? Well, that's what the scripture teaches, Sterling. What we call reptilians or majestic serpents were created 5 verses before us in Genesis, and who knows how many years that was. I agree with Jennifer. Some are good. If they were here to do us good, they would have helped us a long time ago. Good point. Good point. Maybe they're just like us, here with no agenda at all. I don't think aliens think like we do at all. They're not us, like the Spaniards, meaning those of Mexico. Religion thinks they're all evil, but they're not. Don't go down the flat earth road. We're not talking about flat earth. I like Manly P. Hall a little bit more myself too, Iowa X. I really do. Aliens come in races, says Violet Flame. Is every single human the same? No. No two beings are the same. And you have to leave the door open for what Violet Flame is talking about. You know, some people want to say, oh, all aliens are interdimensionals. All aliens come from other planets. All aliens are demons. And we're not smart enough to know for sure. And we're not smart enough to be able to say you're wrong. I think we're best served when we keep our minds and our options open. Violet Flame might be right. Someone that thinks they're all interdimensionals might be right. Someone that thinks they're all demons probably isn't right, but you know, we got to keep our mind open. Anything that abducts you out of your bed, they don't see that as wrong, but people don't commonly think kidnappers are good. Michelle, are they really abducting you out of your bed? Or does it just seem like they are? But I get your point. Those would have, if they're really doing that, that would not be good. Dalton thinks, or Debbie Bailey thinks they're working with the government. Could be. Anonymous thinks the projector would be on Saturn. Could be. Sterling says Saturn used to be our sun. Now gives off a frequency boosted to us by the moon to keep us in this frequency. Interesting stuff. Ha ha, Jen. You're so funny. Sophie, I salute you. You're such a sweetheart. Thank you so very much. I really do appreciate it. I don't know if I'd have the same language of an alien. One of these days, people will learn not to be distracting when they're in the chat room. Hexagonal symbolism, interesting. I think the heat from the sun is the friction when the sun's energy hits our atmosphere. That's interesting too. The book is called The Divine Secret Garden. Thank you, Sophie. I really appreciate you. Nagas rule the inner earth in the Vedas. That's good stuff, Iowa X. I'm learning about the Nagas. Could as above, so below mean that the Elohim started same as us at one point? Baby Elohim are in training. Ooh, I think you're right, Anonymous. Good stuff. Thank you, Earn Link. I had a thought that numerology, says Kent Nichols, follows the true creation, while astrology and other symbolism might be a diagram of Yaldabaoth's creation. I would say it's worth pondering. I would say that's outside the box. And I would probably suggest you not say that when Heidi was around. Unless you want the wrath of Heidi. Oh, that's funny. Jennifer says they would have destroyed us a long time ago. I think Jennifer and I are going to talk tomorrow. about aliens, about UFOs, about some of the great sites within the United States, many of which that she has ventured to herself, and talk about UFOs, aliens, and ETs. Oh my. That's the title of the show right there. UFOs, aliens, and ETs. Oh my. With Jennifer Baranski tomorrow. I think 8 p.m. Pacific would be a dandy time, because that would give us plenty of time to get finished before Scotty Roberts arrives on the scene. Since I've seen what I thought was an angel and a demon, were these aliens or what? Well, that's the million-dollar question, Mimi. Are they angels? Are they demons? What are they? Well, we don't really know. We know that they're something different, or are they just manifestations of our own subconsciousness? Who knows? G. Mason says that they think the aliens are looking for something we have. Maybe they are. Could be. Maybe I think the best thing to do is to ask yourself your intuition. What is this? Maybe we're the aliens. Infinity is vast. They could be coming from anywhere. Good point. Jeff, do you believe that we used to have 12 strands of active DNA? I don't really know. I don't really know. All the talk of Antarctica. Oh, that's right. I do remember the movie The Thing. That was interesting. The one with Kurt Russell was terrible, but it was interesting. Maybe we have a contract with them. Maybe. Alien's just a word to describe different class of being, says Kent Nichols. Maybe. If you think about the technology, it took forever to build an airplane and fly it. In the last 50 years, we've skyrocketed with technology. Debbie Bailey says, we must have had help. Hard to argue with that logic, Debbie. Or maybe we just got really, really smart. The Vedas are powerful teachings. Patty says that we see a counterfeit sun. Maybe. Maybe. What if everything is happening simultaneously? There would be no reincarnation. Interesting. Also, why are the streets of heaven golden? They're not. That's just rat bastard foolishness. I believe everything is happening all at once. Maybe. James Gilliland from Gilliland Ranch UFO emailed Jennifer today. He's going to be on her show. 8 p.m. my time zone, because it's all about me. So I think that'd be 6 and 7, depending on what you rebels in Arizona are doing with the time right now. But 8 p.m. Eastern, tomorrow night, Jennifer Baranski. The only non-human beings that Dawn has seen are the black hooded shadow beings. Very interesting. Some say there's a law of interference and that the aliens haven't come in as the cavalry. Meh. I have entities tell me that Jesus failed. That only increased my faith in God. Did that increase your faith in the rat bastard, Jonathan? I would suggest more research, but that's just me. Tomorrow is the solstice. Humans are clever. I would concur. Hey, Jeff. The guy that Rex had on said the reason they're spraying is because the ozone is almost gone. What do you think? I don't know. I don't know. Good. We'll be looking for you, Journeyman. Yeah, that's what I thought of too, the prime directive. I used to see shadow people, but not anymore. Interesting. Kathy confronted something in a half-dream state numerous times. It finally left her alone. When I just observed it with curiosity, it went away when I had no fear. Kathy, you're preaching my sermon. What you resist continues to persist. She stopped resisting it, brought balanced frequency to play, and it couldn't stay because they can't stay in balanced harmonics because they themselves are unbalanced beings. God, the God of the Bible is the rat bastard. The God of the Bible is a liar from the beginning. The God of the Bible is a killer from the beginning. The God of the Bible is the arch enemy of the Christ. I've proven it over and over again. Thank you. Are we in a soul farm now? There's good evidence that we're in a soul farm now. This is interesting. I've never talked to anyone that sees shadow animals, shadow cats, mostly. I would speculate, Ingrid, that what you're seeing are probably energetic resonance, energetic ghosts, for lack of a better word. And cats are very adept at moving throughout dimensions. And you might be seeing my cat walking around your place. If you watch Constantine, the movie, cats half in, half out anyway. Cats are very adept astral travelers. You might be seeing cats from who knows where. And I think you're probably seeing energetic resonance. You're seeing energetic residue or energetic bleed over. Michelle took sovereignty and declared her divinity, and shadow beings left her alone. Ghost cats. No, not the God of the Bible. Yes, the God of the Bible. Jonathan Hall. Yes, the God of the Bible. And Jonathan, let me help you out. I know you think that I'm crazy as hell right now, but let me show you something. Go here. You're on Jeff Darty YouTube. And if you think I'm just making stuff up, what I want you to do is, if you really care, oh, look, Jeff is live right now. If you really care, go down here into the sections of my website or my YouTube here, and you can look at, is the Lord who we think he is? The Lord, Yahweh, Jehovah, whatever you call him, is not the God you think he is. He's Yaldabaoth, Marduk, a fallen Elohim imposter, the original liar, a murderer from the beginning. Well, let's just look at this while we're here. A murderer from the beginning and the arch adversary of the Christ. Videos stretching back years show the study and discovery of a Bible college graduate and former 20-year minister. That's me. So there's, look at this, 29 videos talking about, is the Lord who you think he is? Now, if you really want to know, oh, I deleted this one. So let's go ahead and delete it. Yes, let's remove it. So there's 28 videos. If you really want to know, if you're really interested in the data, here it is. Right here for your viewing pleasure, for your perusal of the whatever. Yes, you have, Jeff. Yes, I have what? Not sure what I've done. And I'm not sure I'm ready to admit it. Ghost cats. Ghost cats. What else did we say here? Constantine the movie was well done. I think Violet Flame is agreeing with me, and that's always a good thing. Good night, kind, cool 21. I've seen and done many paths in spiritual growth, says Kent. I believe that Christ let us see many things and learn in many ways. And Kent loves the jacket. Thank you very much. Do you have pets that died? They could be sticking around. That's true, Violet Flame. Very, very true. I like the way Violet Flame thinks. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry you are misinterpreting me. Oh, well. Last year around this time, one passed and she was very active, jumping on my bed. Paul, I don't know how I'd feel about that, but that's interesting. That's interesting. Jeff is a top YouTube heretic. I am the top YouTube heretic. Nobody does heresy like I do. I have ghost pet visitations. I have wolf pet visitations. I got no problem with that, Michelle. Jeff, you did what no Freemason has done before the 33rd degree. You figured out on your own what the secret is that they are told at the 33rd degree. That Yalda Baoth is the demiurge architect of the universe. Well, how about that? How about that? Thank you. Jonathan, you're distracting. Stop it. Jeff, I'm seeing the energetic images of my cats. There you go. I love that wolf. Very, very interesting stuff. Very, very interesting stuff. Very, very interesting stuff. So, ladies and gentlemen, what else do you think? What else do you say? I agree with Violet. Her pets really loved her, and that's why they continue to hang around even in death. Yeah, I don't think there's anything to fear from loving. Jonathan, please stop. We don't really care what you're referring to. We're talking about something here. Stop distracting us. I do miss Rooney, Jeff's cat with all the talk of cats. He's around here somewhere. Not sure where he is. Do we have any other questions about what we're talking about? And in fact, we'll open it up here to all questions from all subjects. Nothing irritates me more than somebody trying to make the chat about them when we're trying to talk about a subject. And this is about people getting themselves free. This is about people unindoctrinating themselves. We don't want anyone distracting about their stuff. Don't you know this is all about me? Come on, man. Don't distract the chat. Don't make it about you. Don't draw attention to yourself. Cats are here to remind us of how loyal animals are. Trisha G says Rooney rocks. He does. I don't know where he is. Rooney. Come here, Rooney. Like he's going to come just because I called him. Pushy kitten. We'll see. I doubt he will. This is all about Jeff. I'm glad somebody's finally seeing the light. Any other questions? Austin Brooks, it was a squirrel. Anybody have any questions? Flat man. I think it's time for how about some Rod questions? How about some Rod questions? How about some Rod questions? That would be so bad, Sophie, if I said that. You can't say that M word if you don't really mean it. That's bad. Give him a damn something or other. I can't help but believe the aliens are mostly working with the angels. Could be. Are they working with the angels? Is that what you said? Oh, the government. Yeah, I put that in there. Is it possible that we are an animal or a tree in a past life? I don't think so, but it's possible. Ask the rods if Jesus came in the flesh. Really? Did Jesus come in the flesh? No. We don't need the rods for that. Trisha G. Is the ozone disappearing due to the chemicals being sprayed? No. Personally, if you're asking my opinion, I think the ozone thinning is regular and seasonal, and that it's no big deal. The Apostle John would be fine with it because the Apostle John didn't say that Jesus came in the flesh. Jesus wasn't real. He was made up. And this is for you, New Age Pete. Like I was just showing the other person. Look at this. We're on my channel again, and we can go to the sections down here. And there's one right here that also says, Jesus fallacies, Bethlehem to second coming. Bible college graduate and 20-year preacher exposes fallacies in the life of the man called Jesus from Bethlehem to the second coming. 27 videos talking about what you're talking about right now. Here's the data. If you really want to study it, it's available to you. There you go. Jonna, don't make me ask that. That's up to you. I think you've probably already made a decision, so we'll go ahead and ask it because the rods are for confirmation. They're not for making decisions. Should Jonna put her dog to sleep? That's a yes. You know what's up to you. You know it's up to you. We're not trying to tell you to do something. We're just giving you confirmation of what you already believed. Could spraying monotonic gold fix a lot of our environmental issues? It says no. Trisha, I would think no to this, but would Masca like Trisha to get a kitten? Huh. Interesting. Dalton Gaming asks, are we going into an ice age? No. Interesting. This seems like a question we don't need the rods for, but does the mainstream news and radio give out subliminal messages? Yes. Are chemtrails here to prevent soul exploration? No, that's not what they're about. Oh, good question, Violet Flame. I hope it says yes, because that's what I always say. Should we be teaching people how to remove and heal dark entities themselves? Absolutely. Sometimes you need help learning how to do it initially, but you should learn how to take care of those entities on your own. Do aliens work mostly with the government? Says yes. I don't know. Will the pulse happen within 30 days? I don't even know what the pulse is. Is the alien invasion going to be propagated towards Jesus' return? No, because I think we've eliminated that possibility, Wendy. Yeah, I thought so, Jonna. Is the heat from the sun, the friction, the sun's energy, or should Terry get another Airedale? Will UFO disclosure happen in 2018? No. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, Trisha, but would Masca be upset if Trisha got another kitten? It's consistently saying no. Kent Nichols. Are any of the 12 apostles currently incarnated on earth now? Wow, that's interesting. Is the reason the Atlanta airport was shut down because a plane was shot down in the ocean? No. Thank you, Tiffany. Should I invest? I don't do investing questions because I don't want to be blamed for you losing money. I think it's a yes, but no for certain cats. Need a ghost dog? Oh, stop it. Is colloidal silver one of the top ways to combat illnesses? Yes. Did the count just watch on YouTube? The count who? Did the count just watch on YouTube? Yeah, I don't know who that is. Was Atlanta shut down to arrest Soros? No. Everything's not a conspiracy, but a lot of things are. All right, my coffee's getting cold. That must mean happy birthday, Tiffany. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Tiffany. Happy birthday to you. Is every soul warrior here on earth now here again to take this place back? Ooh. Is every soul warrior from the past now back here on earth to help take this place back? Violet Flame, do you remember me talking to the gods to kick out the rat bastard? We need to talk. That's really powerful because you just opened up something new to me and made me think that I got to wear long pants because my legs stick to the extra pad on my chair. But other than that, yeah, we need to talk. Oh, Saint Germain, I know that he's watching. Will I need surgery for my carpal tunnel or should you buy Jeff's bracelets? Well, the bracelets are a lot less expensive than carpal tunnel syndrome. I'm going to get a parrot and let him watch Jeff. Rat bastard, back! Rat bastard, back! That's hilarious. That's hilarious. I thought that's what you meant, Michelle. I thought that's what you meant. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being here. One more what, Tiffany? Is Inky or Enlil the rat bastard? I don't know. Is the idea that I'm currently excited about the idea that will help me? Is the idea that I'm currently excited about the idea that will help me? Yes. How did I make the New Age floating witch doctor fall on the floor? With the power of my intention. If you were serving the fake God, I was serving the fake God. For 20 years, I served the rat bastard. And I served him well. I used to say I gave him the best 20 years of my life, but I'm not allowing that to be true. I used to say that I gave him the best 20 years of my life. Then I realized, nonsense. I'm in my prime. Whoop, whoop, says Tiffany. Glad I could make you whoop, whoop. It's always a good thing. I'm thinking of buying something that will help me. Should I? I'm thinking of buying something that will help me. Should I? Yes. Your videos are definitely helpful. Thank you. I'm waiting for a delivery from Mistech that I can't miss. As soon as I get that delivery, I'm blasting off to the Georgia Guidestones. So it should be within the next couple of 3 days. Would the rods work for me? They work for almost everybody. Have you written a bio about your previous life and many careers? Well, I wrote Confessions of an Exorcist. That's about the closest thing to it. Wayne had a death in his family. I have felt the presence of the gods. I feel the presence of the gods a lot of times. Dalton Gaming put down their fear, came around. Thank you. I hope you use the crystal ball. That's right. I need to get going on that. It's kind of fallen by the wayside. Well, you could meet me there if you came there. I think Hawaiian girl Beth lives up there. I haven't been using the crystal ball yet. Uh-oh. Guess who just entered the room? Hey, mister. Everyone wanted to see you. Can I put you on display? Come here and say hi to everyone. Come here. Come over here, mister. Here he is. Here he is. Rooney Tooney. Baby kitten. Pushy kitten. Oh, you're a sweet boy. Look at that. Yeah. He's a good boy. He's a baby kitten. Rooney, I think since you're being so nice that we should arrange for you to have some bonus meaties. What do you think? Does the idea of bonus meaties sound good to you? Do you want some bonus meaties? Hmm? Rooney, quit smelling the new jacket and say hi to people. Say hello to everyone, Rooney. 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 Look over there. Look at all the people. They want to see you. You're a YouTube star. Okay. Will you like to smell the new jacket? Okay. That's enough for Rooney. Say bye, Rooney. Rooney, look at the camera. Rooney, look at the camera. Bonus meaties for you. You're a sweet boy. All right. Say bye. He did come. It just took him forever. The jacket's new. It just came out of the bag. I ordered it off of Groupon, believe it or not. It's actually a suit. I don't think I would wear the pants. And it has a tie that's the same thing. But yeah, I ordered it off of Groupon. And it came in this bag. And I guess it does smell a little bit. But there you go. That was Rooney Tooney, Pussy Kitten, Baby Cat in the flesh. No, both of his eyes are blue. Both of his eyes are blue. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I salute you for being here seeking after truth. Unfortunately, we didn't have Wayne here today. His name is Rooney, R-U-N-E-Y, as in runes. As in Rune Star Dragon, Rooney. Eddie Murphy wants the pants. Eddie Murphy called and he wants his pants back. Oh, that's funny. Good job, Jennifer. Good job. I like it. He does look like me in a way, says Trisha G. I've heard that. I've heard that. Rocker Chick's rods work great. Great, Rocker Chick. Good to see you again. Hello, Cindy. Good to see you. Rooney reminds me of Ferris Bueller. I didn't see Ferris Bueller. You're welcome, Liz. I thought of Runes when I heard his name was Rooney. That's his name, Rooney. Rooney's going to get some bonus meaties. Hold on, bro. All righty then. I used to have a dress like that. I don't know if that was supposed to be a joke, but it was funny. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Continue to guide your own spirit. Be your own guru. Master your own ascension. Keep asking questions. Keep questioning answers. And remember, being divine, being sovereign, being free is a process. And even though it may not feel like it, you're right where you need to be. So don't stop until you get yourself free. And like Marsden says, remember, babble. Stay fearless, my friends. I'm Jeffrey Darty, the Christian Whistleblower. We will see you next time.